The real estate market has changed. Things have softened from the seller's side, inventory's gone up, and we've got to be more aggressive if you want to get your property sold right now. Conversely, on the buyer's side, interest rates are high. We have a lot of folks sitting out saying that they're going to wait for interest rates to go down before they purchase. So same thing, we've got to get creative in order to get these listings sold. From a buyer's side, you can utilize this tool called a buy down. At this point, surely most folks have heard of it, but we haven't really heard a lot of the other details of a buy down and how it can help both the buyer and the seller. From the seller side, and trying to get more aggressive and get our listing to be differentiated from others, offering the buy down gives the potential buyer a lower interest rate for the first 2 years, which is obviously a huge factor in differentiating your listing from others. From the buyer's side, obvious benefit, same thing, you've got the lower rate. One of the things that we don't hear a lot of people talking about is how the functionality of the buy down works. From the buyer's side, a buy down is literally like an escrow account. You negotiate that the seller is going to pay for this buy down. Let's just say the buy down costs $8,000. So the buyer and the seller agree that the seller will give a concession of $8,000 to the buyer to cover the interest rate buy down, again, leaving them a 2% lower rate for year one and a 1% lower rate for year two before returning to the 30-year fixed rate that was on the market the day they locked. What happens in that scenario, right, is you're just trying to kick the can down the curb, assuming that, as most experts are stating, that at some point in the next 2 years, interest rates are going to come down and you're going to be able to refinance that house into a permanent 30-year fixed lower rate. The piece that people don't talk about is when you set aside that $8,000, it gets set into an account to cover the cost of that buy down. Let's say we refinance 1 year into the 2-year buy down, and using round numbers, let's call it you've got $3,000 left of that $8,000 that didn't get used because you haven't been the full 2 years yet. That $3,000 is literally a credit back to the borrower, which will almost cover all of the hard closing costs on a refinance. So not only does the buyer get the 2% down lower or 2% lower rate for year one, 1% for year two, but they get a refund of whatever's left over that doesn't get utilized within those 2 years. So huge advantage from the buyer's standpoint, and huge advantage to the seller to offer that as a concession to raise the pool of buyers that are looking at their property. It's a great tool. It's a time in the marketplace where you've got to get aggressive in order to get these listings sold, and this is a great way to do that and differentiate yourself as a seller. So I am Tom King. We are King Loans, Cornerstone Mortgage. We would love to answer any questions that you have or help you in any way that we can. Have a great day.